Hi, good day again. This is Dr. Justine Pierre, and I am the director of Dunn, Pierre, Barnett and Company Canada Limited. We are a black-owned and operated research firm in Toronto. We also I'm also a labor market and migration consultant. And as I mentioned before, I was commissioned by one of the international agencies to give a series of information session about human trafficking in the Caribbean region. As most people might have known that our firm, we have conducted 7 of the largest human trafficking and migration studies that have ever been conducted in the Caribbean region. We have done some work for in 2018 we conducted the one of the human trafficking and migration study for the PAHO. We have conducted some work for the CARICOM Secretariat and many of the organizations within the Caribbean region. So as I said, I'm giving a series of information about the aspect of human trafficking in the Caribbean region. And today my session is about the demographic profile of a sex buyer. Okay, who is a sex buyer? Who is what's person most likely to come to the Caribbean to either use the services of a human trafficking victim? Okay, as I said, in the Caribbean region, there are over 83 brothels in the region. Up until recently, the Caribbean had one of the largest brothels in the world. Sex tourism is very vibrant in the Caribbean region, and many foreigners, many tourists come to the Caribbean for that purpose. In fact, we have interviewed many persons. Persons have different tendencies, different type of preference for their victims. So who is a predator? Who is most likely to use the service of a predator or human trafficking victims? So, for example, from our data, okay, this is from our statistics we've conducted. As I said, we have interviewed over 343 human traffickers. We have looked at the database of over 1,027 persons in the region who have been either investigated, arrested, or suspected of human trafficking activities, or be victim or potential buyer of sex within the region. And the number one, as I said, the profile. I'm not saying that all persons. This is a disclaimer. I'm not saying that all persons in these categories are when they come to the Caribbean, they are buyers of sex. So for example, the number one persons who most likely would be that person, that category, is a white male. So most white persons come into the Caribbean region for sex tourism, or prey on minors. Most of them are between the ages of 45 and 70 years old. Okay, they are most likely to be middle or high income. Okay, they normally will come from these countries. Either they will come directly from the United States, some of the European countries, especially from the island of the Netherlands, Italy, France, Spain. Some of them come from the United Kingdom. Also, they come from Canada. What we see sometimes, some of them, they cannot commit this act on minors or children in their country. So what they will do, they will come to the Caribbean region. They will get that experience, okay, of having the relationship with minors, and then they will leave the country. They will leave the Caribbean and go back to their country. So from our data, as I said, we have conducted some of the largest research on human trafficking in the Caribbean region. So from our data, some of these men are family oriented. In fact, 37.3% are married men. Okay, most of them. Okay, when do they come into the country? When do they come into the region? For that, most of them either come to the region most likely between Wednesdays or Fridays. So from our data, from our interviews, when we interview them, what time do you normally come into the region? We have the highest percentage of them coming in either on a Wednesday or Thursday. When do they leave? They most likely will leave around either on Sundays. So I'm not saying, obviously, that I'm not saying that everybody who leaves the region on the Sunday is involved in that. I'm just saying from our data, as I said, we have one of the largest database of the movement of people within the region. So most persons come into the region for that purpose on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and they normally will leave on either Sunday or Monday, but most likely they normally will leave on a Monday. The arrangement, so most of the arrangements, okay, for sex, for having sex with a young, a minor, someone underage, would be made in advance. So they come in, they have done all of their preparation. They work in collaboration with a hotel or a handler who will make the preparation for them. There are brochures. They can pick what the type of minors they want, the type of victims they want, and that will be provided to them upon entry, either on Thursday night, or let's say Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and they leave. Okay, as I said, most of the victims enter the country mainly at sea and at night. So the victims, they will have the victims if they would normally go to a hotel, or most likely an Airbnb or a private home. They will have the victims come. They will use the victims for the period of time, and during the short stay, and then the victim will be violated, and they will leave. We also see that they profile the buyers of sex within the region come from specific ethnic group. So different ethnic group, for example, especially in the country of Trinidad and Tobago, you have specific ethnic group have different preference for specific type of victims. So based on which ethnic group you are, you either may prefer someone who's lighter skin, someone who has a longer hair, someone who is younger. Based on what type of a victim you are, you may prefer someone who is underage, who is of lighter complexion, who has a very innocent look, etc. So these are some of the more or less profile of a buyer. As I said, my name is Dr. Justine Pierre. I'm the human trafficking and migration consultant, and I work for the research firm of Dunn, Pierre, Barnett and Company Canada Limited. And if you want to reach me, you can get me at my email address, which is cjustinepierre@gmail.com, which is cjustinepierre@gmail.com, or through our website at www.dpbglobal.com, www.dpbglobal.com. Once again, see you on the next session. Thank you.